There continues to be fallout from this. Balenciaga, am I getting it right this time? Okay, it doesn't really much matter. They're pedophile enablers. Just be happy that I get close to pronouncing your name correctly. But they've released a statement, okay, taking some accountability for it, but whatever. And it's like, well, cool. Imagine if anything of this magnitude would happen to anybody on the right. What would happen to them, their business, or even their right to assembly, or any one of their rights? They would be thrown directly in jail, on top of being completely excised from society. But no, the fashion house, they make the nice stuff with the bears and the harnesses, right? But the dude who's getting all the heat for this, okay, the guy who's probably just following orders, okay, he was the dude with the camera, okay, he might have been setting up the shots, he might have been responsible for a couple of other selections. He gets to keep his job? What is going on here? This is wild. Balenciaga, creative director, keeps his job after BDSM themed child ads scandal, apologizes for making the wrong artistic choice. Oh, okay, yeah, that's all it was, right? It wasn't deliberate or anything like that, I argue. This is just the next step along the way, right? It was just love is love. You can love whoever you want. We're so happy for gay marriage. And now all of a sudden it's about, well, when can we talk, when can we start talking about sex with kids? Because that's ultimately where they want to go. Balenciaga creative director Demna, why do you people got weird names, will reportedly keep his job despite being responsible for the creepy BDSM themed child's ads. He apologized for making the wrong artistic choice of concept in a Friday statement. I want to personally apologize for the wrong artistic choice of concept for the gifting campaign with the kids, and I take my responsibility, Demna said in a statement released Friday. I take responsibility for what I did, but outside what everybody else did, even though I was in charge, yeah, that's on them though. It was inappropriate to have kids promote objects that had nothing to do with them. I'm just going to say this. These guys are upset that they got caught. Not that they did anything. They just got caught. I would... as much as I would sometimes like to provoke a thought through my work, I would never have an intention to do that with such an awful subject as child abuse that I condemn. Period. Period. Sure thing, pal. I fucking bet. I need to learn from this, listen and engage with child protection organization so that I can be a little bit covert with my messaging next time around. I apologize to anybody offended by the visuals, and Balenciaga has guaranteed that adequate measures will be taken not only to avoid similar mistakes in the future, but also to take accountability in protecting child welfare in every way that we can. That is fucking hilarious. So no repercussions for the guy in charge of the shoot. Big fucking funny, right? Well, it isn't surprising based on the hierarchy over there at that fashion pedophile house. Like, I don't even, like, what the fuck did they do over there? So Balenciaga's parent company, CEO, heads an auction house that sold art sexualizing children. This is just all an accident, right? No, that ad campaign with a couple of hidden messages in it, okay, that was just a one-off thing. It's not like this isn't like a structural problem. This isn't actual institutionalized problems, right? No, this is just a one-off thing. But let me tell you about institutional racism, right? Fucking Christ. Christie's, the famed auction house, whose president also heads the parent company of Balenciaga, has sold works of art that sexualizes children, including works by shock artists Jake and Dinos Chapman, who have depicted children with erect penises protruding from their faces. I'm glad that was censored because I don't want to see that. I don't need to see that. Nobody. You could make an argument for it, okay? I don't think that it's not one that I would find convincing, but that's just purely subjective. Objectively speaking, stop sexualizing children, you fucking weirdos. The fashion house Balenciaga is currently under fire for running a marketing campaign, for getting caught in the marketing campaign because they would have pushed it out there regardless. The marketing campaign has turned into a public relations nightmare. Not from the media, though. They're awfully silent on that. Hey, did you see Trump had a dinner with Kanye West who went on InfoWars and he was wearing a balaclava and he said that Hitler was a good guy? They'll continue to run with that story. Fucking frauds. Our parent company, Kering, alright, who's headed by CEO François-Henri Pinault. Only the French could come up with something this fucking depraved. And husband to Hollywood star Salma Hayek. Wow, isn't it funny how that 50-year-old with a decent set of tits continues to be on every fucking front page that's out there being held up and heralded as, oh boy, isn't she so attractive? It's a small incestuous fucking circle if I've ever seen one before. The auction house has sold several works by Jake and Dinos Chapman, the brothers whose niche is shock art. All right. Among the works of art sold, a structure called Fuckface. Oh, that's adorable. Which depicts a male toddler with an erect penis for his nose, what appears to be a vagina for a mouth. That's fucking gross. Another sculpture titled Zygotic Acceleration. Yeah, nothing like hitting the nail directly on the fucking head. Shows a group of naked prepubescent girls, or naked I don't care. This is fucking gross and it's making me sick. Some of whom have erect penises for noses? What is this dude? What's this dick nose dude thing? The fuck? Arranged in a bizarre quasi-sexual positions. Yeah, with legs wrapped. I don't want to analyze that any. It's making me, I don't like it. I don't like this. A third piece depicts several naked pubescent girls engaging in what appears to be sexual acts outdoors. Yeah, enough of this fucking that's so haram. Both works were sold at Christie's auctions, according to the company's official website. I'm sure that was also just an oversight. We're sorry for getting caught. Oh no, sorry for auctioning that stuff off and turning a profit. I'm sure, and if nobody did any investigation into this, we would just continue to host the Jake and Dinos, the Chapmans. Okay, that we would continue to do that stuff, but don't worry about it. Despite mounting public blowback against the brand, Hollywood celebrities who have been associated with Balenciaga continue to remain silent. Only Kim Kardashian has said, I still like the money that the house gives me, and I'll consider taking a step back. And hey guys, did you know I didn't want to do a campaign earlier this year? So then cancel your contract though. Now you're just going to negotiate for some more money, you fucking weirdo. Fuck her, you're partially responsible for the downfall of Kanye, and I hate your guts. Which consistently get rearranged by any NBA player that's currently in town. Let's stop the fucking cap. But none of this shit is by fucking accident, okay? This has been a cause that I've been championing for a very long time because I see this shit, okay? I can see where we are on the slippery slope, and lo and behold, we're getting to the bottom of the fucking slide on this one. I don't like it. I'm not happy about it, but we are fucking here, so we got to talk about this. General public unaware of push to normalize pedophilia in culture and academia. Yeah, this is where we're at this point. This is what these fucking big brains and their oak studies sipping on snifties of brandy, wondering what they're going to be pushing next, okay? Do you guys want to focus on STEM subjects? Nah, we want to diddle kids. How can we make that more publicly acceptable? Start teaching that in your humanities classes. Age is just a number, and it's all just a choice after all. You can't criticize anybody for choice. Great idea. Fucking creeps. I don't know who those people are, but they're numerous and they're fucking everywhere. All this shit starts at the university level, okay? It's the thought that somebody has that they continue to push out there. I think Jordan Peterson characterized it the best all those years ago back on the Joe Rogan podcast, back when both of them were relevant. You need to stand your ground. They'll just come up to you, they'll get as close as you can, and if you don't tell them no and mean it, they'll continue to push you back. And if you don't mean it, before long, it's just going to be you on the edge of a cliff. And man, you don't want to find yourself there. This is what happens. This is what happens when you have one side that is overzealous, about the progression of thoughts and ideas and a full embrace of the whole feels over reals dynamic. Oh, we don't want to deny anybody their existence. We don't want to tell anybody they're fucking degenerates for wanting to diddle kids. And you have another side that's just all too willing to adopt those same talking points 10 years down the road, because where are we at right now? You have how many Republicans signing on to the whole we need to enshrine gay marriage bill because we are conservatives after all. Fucking yuck. Colorado mom Lydia Lerman feels punched when she hears a trendy new term, minor attracted person. Oh yes, maps. And what do you do with maps? You put them on the wall. Just thinking of the damage a pedophile inflicted upon her son, who was 6 at the time, causes pain. Well, I would argue that you were not as active of a mother, but I don't know, I can't see your hand. I don't know if you're married. There's a bunch of other shit to be put in here. And again, the fucking right is not immune from making emotional arguments here. Like, you can point to the studies that, yeah, sexualizing children, okay, having kids be sexually promiscuous from younger ages fucks them up much later in life, okay? Perpetuates a very dangerous, treacherous society. You could just use the numbers and win the argument completely and totally outright. But no, you got to resort to just wheeling out the mom who feels real bad about what happened to her neglected child. And he pushed to normalize pedophilia, or designated it another sexual orientation to be tolerated as unconscionable. Lerman, whatever, told the Epoch Times. That's a bunch of shit. Oh my God, a white woman's up in her feelings. Change will be made. She said academics pushing acceptance of pedophilia, they are going to face the greatest resistance they have ever seen. Society is not going to let that happen. Yeah, never should have let you fuckers vote. But in academic circles, some have begun to argue that pedophilia should be considered just another sexual orientation, not a mental disorder, but still illegal. But for how long? Let's be completely honest. If there were more Senator Scott Wieners in the world, probably for like another day, maybe. He would already be calling a special session. That's the state senator from California who also made the unknowing transmission to the party receiving. The transmission of AIDS is no longer a felony, as simple misdemeanor. And also underage gay sex between a man and a boy is no longer prosecutable. That's Scott Wiener, by the way. Those are people at the controls, at the levers of power, if you will, just in the state of California, which continues to be just a big old laugh factory. And a therapist who treats pedophiles told the Epoch Times that he believes pedophilia is on its way to becoming normalized. Yay! Enjoy the decline. 2018, medical student Miriam Heine. Don't tell me that you wrote a pro-pedophile argument with a last name Heine. You should be... Can't finish that one. Who said she had a background in psychology, gave a presentation called Pedophilia is a Natural Sexual Orientation. Words cannot describe the horrors that should be inflicted upon you. Just saying. During a TEDx event at the University of Würzburg in Germany. I think they got different problems that are over there when it comes to sexual issues. Don't look into any stories. New Year's Eve 2017, 2018? Yeah, nothing good could come out of that, especially the little pamphlets that were scattered across the floor and all over Berlin. Don't look any further into that. A program guide for a TEDx said she was mainly guided by the work of Professor Dr. Klaus Michael Bierer, the head of an institute for sexology and sexual medicine. The place should be burnt down. At the University Hospital Berlin. Not that part. I'm sure they probably do good work, but studying sexology and sexual medicine, that sounds like one of those hack guys that would show up at the beginning of an infomercial late night that would just tell you about the greatest and latest in vibrator technology. Hi, I've got a degree in sexology, and let me tell you about this new wiggling gimmick that we have on top of this 14-inch black dildo. It's terrific. In her remarks, Heine said pedophilia is an unchangeable sexual orientation. You know how you can change it? With a rope. No one chooses to be a pedophile. No, I also don't choose to be attracted to 18 and older chesty blondes or leggy brunettes. I definitely don't choose that. The fuck are you talking about? Heine argued during her talk, the difference between pedophilia and other sexual orientations is that living out of the sexual orientation will end in a disaster. That's weird, and I understand that this argument from 2018 predates what's going on right now, but what about those people who wake up in the morning and choose to be different gender? How do you reconcile those two positions? I'm just wondering. Most countries in the world, including the United States, outlaw adults having sexual contact or intercourse with children in most situations. Now, I know you might hear that and say, most situations? Abdul, get the rocks. Not quite. Those are those Romeo and Juliet laws where if you need to start pulling out that sort of stuff, you should probably pause and figure out if you're in, the best relationship for your own legal standing. That's if they say you're dating and fucking around in high school, like so many people do, and you end up, your birth date is later in the year. Somebody turns 18 first, then another person is, 17 or 16 years old. You're not going to get thrown in jail for fucking a kid, okay? I forget what, I don't even know what the grace period is. It's 2 or 3 years, okay, of consenting people. Like I said, I don't know. I don't need to run those numbers. It's like 18 verifiable. Great, we can do that. Outside of that, you stay over there. You stay the far fucking over there, okay? You can't seduce me with your pigtails, okay? And your pink little lunchbox. You stay over there. It's a joke, folks. It's a fucking joke. The term minor attracted people have been popularized by pedophiles. Oh, I'm sorry. Headlines after Professor Alan Walker. Oh, I was going to say something that would get me thrown off of YouTube. Used it during a discussion on pedophiles in November of 2021. Walker, a woman who transitioned to live as a man, I don't even know what that means, was discussing her book, A Long Dark Shadow, Minor Attracted Persons and Their Pursuit of Dignity. Oh, you know how pedophiles acquire that dignity? 1 9mm round at a time. The term minor attracted person and that interview with the Protasia Foundation, a San Francisco organization, focused on child sexual abuse and how to perpetuate it better and legally. Walker said that it is less stigmatized to use the word minor attracted person. Nope. No, not going to use your word, you fucking pedophile. Then referring to people who don't act on their urges to have sex with children. Okay, cool. You want to say that it's an immutable characteristic? I'm not going to accept that premise, but just as a thought experiment, okay? Why was there so much backlash, okay, against that weirdo who wanted to transition to become a Korean, okay? Your race is an immutable characteristic, and that one's set in stone. Like, I don't know, and I don't want to know where it goes after this. I just thought this would be the final Rubicon. Nobody would want to cross this, at least in my lifetime. Are we going to go full Cenk Uyghur and legalize zoophilia? You know those creeps that are out there with their Velcro gloves and their oversized rubber boots with just the cutest little sheep on their farm? Or the entire country of Scotland. But why the fuck are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Well, it's simply the natural extrapolation of feels over reals. You can't change who you're attracted to. And why is sexualization at the cornerstone of all of this stuff? Why is it the anchor point of all of these decisions? Well, that's what happens when rationality leaves the room. What is the strongest impulse that human beings have? What is the purpose for human beings being here? Procreation. Simple as that. Destigmatize everything that's out there. Because if you can do that, well, then you can find your way around shaming people out of other laws and restrictions that are on society. It's simple, man. You give up this space and then you just have everything else is out there blatantly on the fucking table. Moving along, fashion house Balenciaga faced backlash recently for running an ad with BDSM Bears. John Uller, a 30-year veteran counselor, said that worked with sex offenders in Pennsylvania and South Carolina prison systems throughout his career, said that he has assessed hundreds of pedophiles. Wonder who has a higher kill count, this guy or a Special Forces Ranger? I'm just wondering. Euler, a member of the Association for Treatment of Sexual Abusers, says he's afraid pedophilia is on the road to normalization. Guess what, brother? We are firmly on this road. We're doing about 60 heading down a fucking hill. Sex offender treatment specialists are now trained to view sex offenders as victims of trauma, he said. Sorry, what? No, I thought it was intrinsic. I thought it was something that you were born with, not something that you were that you acquired through trauma. The idea of pedophiles are reenacting their trauma by choosing a victim of the age they were abused, Euler said, but that's not accurate, he added. Yeah, that sounds retarded. Researchers are taking information from interviews with pedophiles and considering it to be true, which is stupid, okay? You're asking a criminal why you're a criminal, and you're giving them license, and you're saying that they're going to be upright and honest. That's a faulty premise to begin with, okay? Instead of realizing you're dealing with the world's greatest deceivers. I like this guy. I like him a lot. Even so, Walker's ideas have permeated. Oh, this is that creep from the beginning with the M.A.P verbiage. Fuck off. Yeah, Walker's ideas have permeated the circles. Walker spoke at this year's ATSA conference. Of course that did. Creating a protected class. Yep. Of course, because you need just another little group that's out there, okay? Over there, you got the blacks, you got the Hispanics, you got the gays, you got the trans. What's with the... Get off of the ceiling! Just make sure that that stool has 3 good legs, god damn it. Stop doing that. And then you got the pedophiles over there. They like to hang out in the vans, the panel vans out back. Normalizing pedophilia ultimately could lead to a major cultural change, elevating pedophiles to a protected class. Yep, because everybody needs to be special. They are going to push to have it recognized as a sexual orientation, which would grant a civil rights status, Euler said. This is 1000% fucking true. If that happens, employers can no longer discriminate against pedophiles in areas such as employment, and especially at the government levels. And, what does government have ultimate control over? Oh, right, education system. So they wouldn't be able to turn away pedophiles. Wow, that would definitely explain all of those, 29, 30-year-old teachers that end up getting caught boinking half of their class. Interesting. And if teens are given the legal right to decide if they want to have a sex change operation or take hormones to try to appear as the other sex, that could help make it legal for pedophiles to act on their sexual urges. Yuck. They're jackals that are feeding off of the carcasses of these kids. The predator's interest is ultimately lowering the age of consent. Yup. Scott Clark, a minister who teaches church history and historical theology at Westminster Seminary in California. Ooh, that guy's got his work cut out for him. Called the destigmatization of pedophilia as the last stage of a neo-pagan sick. Oh, I don't care about your feelings, dude. Oh, it's hey, it predicted it in the Bible. We got it. Florida attorney Jeff Childers, who has fought against the mask mandates and helped parents oppose sexualization in schools, this guy said, looking back at how homosexuality became recognized as an orientation may offer insight into what could happen. Is this guy... He's taking my talking points. It's parallel thinking, obviously. I'm not that fucking narcissistic. Once homosexuality became normalized, it led to a repeal of sodomy laws, Childers are noted. Yeah. That's how we went from homosexuality. I will bet you a steak dinner that the pedophiles have observed how it went for gay people. Yeah, no, exactly. Gays and trans and then every letter under the rainbow. But then it seems like they've settled on LGBTQ plus. Plus, it's like we can't. Everything after that, it just makes us look silly, and it's easier to print just a half dozen letters on a flag as opposed to all of that shit. So pedophiles gain sexual orientation status. This could be how decriminalizing sex between minors and adults. There's a significant difference between sodomy laws and sex offenders laws, meaning that it would be much tougher to weaken them, he said. One of the arguments used to strike down sodomy laws is that they were antiquated and often not used. Oh, sodomy, for those of you who don't know, unnatural acts of sex. So if it's not a peen and a veen, it was sodomy. It was fucking haram. And I think like the last place that had it was Texas. Fucking based. That can't be said for child sexual assault laws. Children said that there appears to be an erosion for the penalty of pedophilia in California. Is he going to reference the one that I brought up earlier? California Senate Bill 145 passed in 2020 expanded the law, allowing judges' discretion when considering whether those engaged in gay sex with minors should be registered as sex offenders. Yeah, Scott Wiener, throw him under an 18-wheeler. Referenced a Daily Mail expose as well that showed thousands of convicted pedophiles in California are being released from prison less than a year after being convicted of rape, sodomy, and sexual abuse of children under the age of 14. Oh, I'm dying inside. Oh, back to the mom here, okay, as we close out. Lerma's quest for justice for her son made headlines in 2018. Didn't hear about it, but I'll take your word for it. After she successfully hunted down his abuser, a man who had access to the child while living at her ex-husband's home. Called it. After he was arrested and released from jail on bail, he disappeared. On a tip, Lerma traveled to Mexico and found him at a grocery store parking lot. Did she, Dirty Harry this shit? Successfully located Andrew Vanderwall led to his arrest and conviction of molesting her son and another child. Oh man, he actually got to go to jail. Fuck, that sucks. Here in Mexico, just find your local cartel member and then just say he owes you money. Would have been far more satisfying. She remembers trembling, yeah, when she spotted him at Ciudad Cohadimoc, House of Cohadimoc. I don't know, from her rental car. It was this absolute rage, like I could get out and kill him. Well, you're a girl, you can't though. He might be a pedophile, but I'd imagine he's probably a little bit stronger than you. But you wouldn't have to worry about getting sexually assaulted, being old and stuff. And even the pedophile have been sexually molested. It doesn't give them the permission to prey on children. Yeah, exactly. I've had shit stolen from me, okay? It doesn't give me license to break into somebody's house, okay? That's not how this fucking shit works. Something bad in the past doesn't justify something bad in the future. I guess this is going to be weird. Just hear me out until the end of the sentence, okay? Shout out Balenciaga for putting this on Front Street so people are more aware of this fucking disgusting behavior going on in the undercurrent, because this has been a talking point and I've been well aware of it, and I'm sure multiple other people out there have as well, that this has been on the docket for those people for a very long time, okay? The far left, okay? This has been a fringe idea for a minute, but then again, what, in 2020 was trans women or women that much of a mainstream talking point like it is right now? Give it some time, and pedophilia will be transitioned out, and minor attracted people will be brought to the forefront if you allow that to happen. So, with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.